Hello, everyone. Chris, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, good. I see a lot of thumbs up in a conference room somewhere. Hi, Dennis. How are you? Good. Good to see you, Andy. Just give a few more seconds for more people to join. Hopefully everyone is enjoying this beautiful weather we're experiencing this week. Finally, the sun is out. Diane, how are things for you? Good, 2 thumbs up. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. We have quite a few things on the agenda for today. I'm going to start with Chris Hughes. I think we have an update on the mentorship program that we announced in the town hall last month.
Yeah, so last month we announced that we were going to be starting an internal Department of Government operations mentorship program, and I told everyone that we would be posting that on the intranet. We did get it posted on the intranet, but I got it to that group a little late. And while we did have people sign up, I did get some emails later on this week saying, hey, where was the sign up going to be? And so for right now, the sign up for the mentorship is just on our department's intranet. So if you'd like to sign up for that or learn more about it, please go to the intranet and find out. The sign up's there. And for those that have signed up, we're still going to do it. For those that want to sign up, there's still time to do it. I think we're going to close the sign up at the end of May. So we have people on there that want to have specific skill sets that they'd like to share with others. And I think that's a great thing. And we've also got people that want to be mentored on some of those skill sets. So it looks like we'll have a good mentorship program as we move forward. That's it, Jenny.
Thanks, Chris. It looks like we have about 300 people on the call today. So obviously not a large chunk of the department. Would you please send an email out to everyone, just letting them know where it's located and how they can find it, so those who aren't here today have the same information?
Will do.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. All right, next we're going to turn some time over to Andy. I have received a number of requests for information on the fitness center at TSOB, and Andy is our facilities director, so he's going to give an update there.
Thanks, Jenny. Yeah, I did some digging around and I found a few things that we're still waiting on with the Taylorsville gym. Thankfully, construction is not really one of those this time. So we have a pretty good level of completion with that. I think there's a bench that's still missing. But the big thing that we're still waiting on is an access control solution. That's either going to be an access control like a card reader or a pin pad, similar to those of you that were members at the Capitol Fitness Center, that we would install one of those there. I think the direction we're going to take now is to just install one of those temporarily so that we can allow access to the gym. And then we'll work on getting the access control system tied in so that we have a better way to monitor it and so forth, so that members can be added, removed quickly, and we can just manage the access a little better than we could on a manual system. The biggest problem that we have currently with the gym is we have a lack of governance right now. So we're really needing some participation on the committee. Brianne Taylor is the current chair of the Taylorsville Fitness Committee. And I really encourage everyone who's interested in using the facility or being a part of that committee to reach out to her and see how you can get involved, because that's really how this is going to get off the ground. And then we also have a couple of legal-ish kind of IRS-y things that we have to work on. Our AG Mike Kelly is working on this process for us, and that pretty much involves setting up, a bank account, and we have to get ourselves in the right position so that we can collect fees and administrate those properly. So I think that that pretty much sums it up, and I don't foresee too much longer of a delay getting people in there and working out. We just have to clean up a few housekeeping items and then get that committee fully staffed or full of participants. So I'd be happy to field any questions about that and direct you in the right place for the committee. But from a facility standpoint, I think we're good to go. We just need participation. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Andy. So if anyone is interested in participating in that on that governance committee, if you can reach out to Breanne Taylor, as Andy mentioned, she's the chair. I think right now it's maybe Breanne and one other person. And so we really do need to establish that committee. That's the committee that will be responsible for determining what the policies are for it. They are doing some legal work on creating a legal entity that has the ability to collect, I think, the user fees for it and just address with the liability insurance and all of that. So we need more than 2 people to sit on that committee. So please reach out to Breanne Taylor if you're interested. And Melissa just posted her contact information in the chat. The question came up, what do I need to do to access the gym? And I think at this point we don't, that's what you're still working at, is if it's going to be a key card or a pin pad, but that's part of the policy that this committee will come up with as well as far as access. Is that correct, Andy?
Correct.
Okay. Do we know from just the construction standpoint when the construction part will be ready to go?
I think we just need to wait on the punch code for now until we get the access control wired into the system. Best guess, it'd be a couple weeks maximum on that. I think, really the holdup is the administration of it, but I've got my staff. It's a high priority for us to make sure that we're getting that access provided. And Daryl didn't indicate any other holdups from the construction side, so we're good there.
Great. So volunteer to help Breanne out sounds like what we really need right now.
And I think when the process gets going and that committee is up and running, then new members will it'll either be programmed to your Taylorsville building card, or you'll be given a code or both. But you'll have access one way or another, and that'll be managed through the committee.
That sounds great. Any questions related to the fitness center?
I actually have one. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my office is not in that building. I'm an HR director assigned to environmental quality. Will I have access to this facility? Because I know I haven't been able to get a card for the DHRM offices. So can I have access to the building for the gym?
Andy, do you know the answer to that? I would think it would be available to anyone who's an employee of GovOps.
That's what I would think. If you're a DGO employee, then you should certainly have access to the building, and we can arrange that through our office, DFCM, and then eventually in June we'll be working with DPS to manage that, or in July, excuse me. But until that time, you can work with me or our office to get that set up.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the questions that's come through is if we need to charge fees for a fitness center. And this is another one that I haven't really been that involved in, but it's my understanding that the way that the facilities in the state are structured, there has to be some revenue source to handle ongoing maintenance and such with that particular area. It's not funded through an appropriation. So it's funded as with other state facilities through some sort of a user fee. Is that correct, Andy?
Yes, that's the way I understand it in talking with Mike Kelly. It's probably a little more complicated than we thought it would be really to start something like this, but I think the fees are associated with maintenance and upkeep of the facility, seeing as it's kind of a standalone thing. And I've been told that yes, the fees are required for that. And I don't really have a great explanation for that, but I can work on getting something more concrete for you.
That would be great. We'll work with Mike Kelly. He's our AAG as it relates to facilities, and we can get some more insight there that we can share with the whole department on.
Yep.
How that
Mike is a big fitness guy, so he's working on this.
He really wants that facility, I know.
He does.
But I also know that that's one of the things that we do recognize is that we have not received any kind of an appropriation to fund that kind of a facility. Someone else asked the locker room, is it available to all TSOB employees regardless of fees to use showers if we and whatnot, if we commute in on a bike or go on outside lunch runs, etc. I would imagine that this is going to be part of what that committee is going to determine from a policy perspective, that governance committee. Those will be questions that they'll need to answer as part of that. So again, if you have some time that you can volunteer to serve on that governance committee, they'll be the ones developing policies on utilization. Oh, Brianne, she's already on top of this. Look at that. So user fee will be $60 for the year, same as it was at the state office building. So it looks like we're just replicating what was done at the state office building. Can we tour the gym before joining? I don't have an issue with that, but again, I'm going to leave that up to the governance committee to figure out how that's handled. Brianne, this job may be getting larger and larger for you as we speak today. So thank you for chairing this committee. Any other questions on that one? And we'll make sure that we're pushing out emails as well. There have been a lot of questions about this one. I know there's a lot of interest in utilizing it, not just from our department, but from the other agencies that are located in TSOB. So as we get some more definitive information, and as the committee starts putting together the policies and the structure, we'll make sure that gets sent out to everyone that that is an agency employee that is located at TSOB. Someone said locker rooms are not behind fitness center doors and can be accessed if you can get to the building floor. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on then to the next topic, which is the ideas portal. Is Jake Nord on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Good, good. So the update there is we actually have a meeting today, this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and we're going to be hearing 5 idea submissions today, and we've got 3 more that are scheduled for next month. So we've had 7 in the last month that have come in, and we were able to get 4 of them scheduled for today, or 5 of them scheduled for today. So anyway, it's going well though. We see some pretty good participation and some good ideas are coming through, and we're excited to see where it goes. So that's where we're at.
Will you just give a brief summary again of how that committee is going to work if there was anyone who wasn't on the call last time we discussed this?
Yeah. So on the internet, there is a link where you can click a button and go to a predefined business case that we've set up. They'll ask you some various questions about your idea. I mean, if there's a financial impact to it, who it would impact, how it would improve the department, how it aligns with our vision and values and so on. And once you fill that out, then Melissa Brown will contact you and schedule an appointment for you to present to our committee. We've got 5 of us that sit on a committee that would listen to your committee and listen to your presentation. You get 10 minutes to present your idea, and then we have a 5-minute Q&A after that to ask questions that may come up. And then the 5 of us vote. And it's essentially like America's Got Talent. I mean, you pass with a simple majority. And once that happens, and we refer you, if it's just a division specific idea, then we refer you to your division. If it involves more than one division in the department, then we go to EDO's office, and they would work with whatever it is. I mean, we've had some wide-ranging ideas, so there really isn't really a clear direction after we say yes. I mean, it seems like each idea is a little bit different, where some go to one group of people and some go to different group of people, and some need policy reviews and so on. So, but we send it on to the next approvers, people who would look at the financial impact and so on and see if it's feasible. And then after that, we post the results on the intranet on what ideas got passed, which ones didn't. And that gives everybody a chance to collaborate with people. If you saw an idea that you really like and it resonates with you, then you're able to contact that person and kind of get back on the, let's get this idea passed kind of a bandwagon. So, I mean, it's kind of a mini legislative process where we want to create a little committee and present and refer it forward. And eventually with the top people get to choose if it's going to happen or not, but it gives everybody some transparency and a way to have your ideas presented. So.
Thank you, Jake. And that's one of the pieces of feedback we got from employees, which is sometimes we submit an idea and then we don't know what happens with it. Was it accepted? Was it rejected? If it was rejected, why? And so that's one of the things I really love about this committee is that transparency that's going to go into this to help all employees know what things came through, what moved on, what didn't, and just provide that level of insight there. Jake, some of the questions that have come in, how do we show support for an idea that's on the list?
The champion of the idea is the person who presents it. So we're not dictating what anybody does or doesn't do. I'd say that if you look on the list and you see an idea that you like, I'd reach out to that person directly and see what can be done. I mean, we're not dictating how presentations get made or who makes the presentation. So if there's an idea out there that you like, there could be a committee of people or a group of people or a whole division of people that wants to see this change made, and they can come and present together, and it's really up to you how you do it. So I just say, if you see an idea that you like, then contact that person and collaborate together and see what you want to do together to get it pushed forward.
And then the other question is, who are the members of that committee?
There's myself and Chris Hughes from EDO, and Michael Doxey from Finance, and Steve Cuthbert from DHRM, and Dan Fry of DTS. If I forget anybody else, Steve, that's us, right? That's everyone. So, okay.
Any other questions on that ideas portal or how that committee is functioning? Okay. Jake, I think you need to let us know if there's somebody on that committee that is serving as the Simon of the group, just so we can be prepared.
No. Yeah, and we're all pretty agreeable. We're actually we've had some good questions and such. It's been fun. Oh, and then also Melissa Brown is kind of the gatekeeper that would be organizing who meets when and so on. So the constraint really has been trying to keep people to a 10-minute presentation, because I mean the ideas have been great, and it's been hard to keep things at a timely manner ending. So anyway, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Jake.
Yep, you bet.
All right, the last thing I had on my list was just to go over some of the emails that I've sent out over the last few weeks. So the first one came out and it just gave some insight into what we're going to be focusing on as a department for the upcoming fiscal year. And I mentioned in that email that we're almost at the 1-year mark of officially being the Department of Government Operations. And we've done a lot of data gathering during that year. We're still doing data gathering, and that includes meeting with our customers, meeting with employees as we went out and did some of the day in the life tours. We have some audits that are currently underway. We're doing the pulse surveys that are going out to employees, those 2-question surveys that you get every few weeks. And gathering that data to help us now define how we're going to become the Department of Government Operations in the way that was envisioned when our department was created. So as part of that, we've really broken up some key areas of focus for the upcoming fiscal year, with Q1 being focused on internal items. So that will be things on building a strong culture where employees feel like they are engaged, they are valued, and that their work here matters. So the things that we'll be focusing on are things like leadership development, upskilling, recruitment and retention, employee engagement. We'll be creating some standard processes across the department for things like ASIs and incentives, so that way we can ensure equity across the department. That's going to be a big part of our focus with Q1, which will be July to September. And we'll utilize the data that we've been gathering from these poll surveys and other mechanisms that we've been reaching out to employees, and including the governor's survey that we should be getting results on next week, to help us know what direction we need to head. So as you get those surveys, I know everyone's super busy. We've really tried to keep those poll surveys down just to the 2 questions, so they should be pretty easy to answer. But we really encourage you to engage in that, because it's the feedback that we're getting through those surveys that are going to help us as we now determine what does our employee culture strategy look like. And we do share those results with all of the division directors, so division directors can also see them and work with their teams to develop strategies specific for the division. In Q2, we're going to be focusing on strategic planning. We are required to have a strategic plan as a department. I mentioned that we have some audits that are underway, and we'll have some of those results back in the fall. That will also include customer feedback. So we'll be utilizing that data that we've gathered to create our department strategic plan as to how we'll be moving forward in the upcoming years. And then Q3, a big chunk of that will be focused on the rate process. So within GovOps, we have 9 divisions, and 6 of those divisions are in ISF, which is an internal service fund, meaning that they bill out rates to cover the services that they provide. Now that we're all under one umbrella, we are looking at better ways of handling our rate process. So we have contracted with Moss Adams to come in and do an internal service audit, and they'll start July 1. We did ask for authority from the legislature to reallocate some funds from one division to the executive director's office to fund that internal service audit. So they'll start in July. I don't have an end date yet just because they haven't started, but we anticipate having some information that we can use by the end of the year. So Q3 can really be focused on how do we streamline that rate process? Are our rates covering what they should? Are we competitive with private sector solutions? How can we simplify our rate process? That's one of the pieces of feedback we get quite a bit from our customers as Chris, Merrily, and I are out meeting with them is some feel like they don't really understand our rates or what they cover, and it's hard for them to reconcile on their end what we're billing versus what they're using. So we're really asking Moss Adams to do a deep dive into our rate process so we can focus Q3 on improving that process. And then the other one that went out was last night. I sent out to everyone a copy of the vision document that we created for the department as a whole. So as we've taken all this data, we had our seat values that we created last year as part of our transition team, and I've shared that with you all. And it was time for us to now put some direction in place for our department as a whole. And that was the purpose of that vision document, was to make sure that our senior leadership team was aware of what we're trying to accomplish as a department. So that way divisions, as you're working, or teams within divisions, as you're working on building up your strategies and your goals for the upcoming fiscal year, that you can make sure that they align with the direction of the department as a whole. And one of the reasons why we send it out to everyone, number one, we are trying to practice what we preach when it comes to transparency. So we want all employees to know the direction that we've given our leadership team. We also want you to be able to have that data so you can hold us as accountable as leaders to implement it. And we want to do a better job, I explained last month, of sharing the whys behind decisions. And we're hearing that from employees and customers both, which is we want to understand not just here's the new policy or here's a new practice or here's a new rate. We want to understand the whys behind it. So we're going to do a better job of bringing employees and customers along with these decisions as they're being made. And that really lines up with this ideas portal and this mentorship program, is finding ways for employees to feel engaged and to have an avenue to share ideas. We recognize that those of you who are doing this job day in and day out, you see what needs to be fixed, and you see ways of that processes can be improved. So we're really excited about this idea portal where you have a forum to share your idea, to have it vetted by a committee of your peers, that we talk about the budget implications and the department implications and the implications on our customers, and really fully vet it and then find ways to implement that. So I really encourage you to participate in that process. That is everything that I had on my list today. Oh, sorry, one other thing. If you have topics that you would like us to discuss in these town hall meetings, please feel free to send me an email at any time. I do meet with various leaders throughout the department and ask for ideas, but if there are things specifically that you as team members as well of GovOps would like us to discuss in these town halls, please just shoot me an email and let me know that this is a topic you'd like us to engage on. I do read the comments that come through the intranet, but if there are specific topics you'd like us to make sure that we're focusing on, I'd love to hear that. All right, questions. What can we answer for you today?
Hey, Jenny, I do have a quick question. Do we have any updates out there about the data center exit?
We do. Let's see, is either Alan Fuller or Dan Fry, are either one of you on the call?
I'm here.
All right, Dan, do you want to give an update?
Yeah, you bet. And thank you. My voice is a little hoarse. I'm a little under the weather. But we're moving right along with the data center move. It's a humongous project. We've done some really amazing feats recently.
Oh, Dan, it looks like you froze. How about Mark Schultz? Are you on the line?
No. And then this past weekend,
Dan, you're there. Sorry, you froze for a minute, so we lost you.
Oh, am I back?
Yes.
Okay, so we moved a bunch of stuff, and then this last weekend we moved a lot of the things to the cloud. So Workforce Services moved eRep and Cubs, Cats, some of their main applications to the cloud, and also UDOT moved a lot of their Oracle databases that support about 100 different applications to the cloud. So they had a huge weekend this past weekend. Some of the statistics, just to do some statistics, is we've moved 572 servers out of the total of 670 that need to be moved to the Taylorsville data center. And we've almost moved all of the Oracle production. We moved 231 out of 254. So we have about 2 weeks left. And so things are moving right along.
Okay, that's right in line with what I'm hearing, and that makes me really happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's been involved in that data center move. This has been a tremendous lift and in a really condensed time frame. And I fully expected that things were going to come up that we weren't planning on, and it may delay the project, and that hasn't been the case at all. There have been a number of overtime hours, weekends worked, et cetera, to make sure that this is on track for June 1st. And it's just been an amazing effort by so many. So thank you to everyone who's been involved with that.
Jenny, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, hey, Alan.
Hey, I just wanted to mention, to add one thing to what Dan said, is just for everyone to know within DGO, we do have a big milestone coming up on May 21st. So that's when we'll be switching the internet for everybody. The internet will be moving. The team will be starting at 5 a.m. That's a Saturday. And that'll be a big weekend for all of us. So circle that one on your calendar. It should be fun. We expect to have small outages, hopefully 10 minutes or less. But with a move the size of that magnitude, you know, there's a lot of inherent risks.
Thanks, Alan. DTS does have a web page that provides some insight into the status of the migration process. If somebody wants to throw that in the chat, they've been really great about just providing continual updates so you can see how things are moving forward. It looks like Joseph just posted that into the chat. Thank you for that. Let's see, one of the other questions that came up, and Jerry, thank you for asking, because I did see this on the list of questions that came through the internet and forgot to address it. But the question is, did you find out what we charge time to if internet or power goes out at our homes? Oh, sorry, I was thinking of a different one. Jean, are you on the call? I think HR was going to look into this one, but I don't know if you're on this call.
Hi, Jenny, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, we still need to work on that one. So
Okay.
let me reach out to Cass, and we'll make sure that gets taken care of and gets posted.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, the other question that came up through the intranet that I pushed to Chris was a question about with many employees teleworking, can we see about getting a state contract with some of the internet providers for employees to get a discount? I believe that some other providers, like cell phone providers, offer something similar. So Chris, do you want to give some insight into what we're going to do to find out if that's a solution or an option?
Yes. So I talked to Wendy Apirath, the division director for purchasing. She's going to be reaching out to the internet providers as well as Verizon and T-Mobile, who offer 5G internet at your home, to see what discounts they can provide as well. So hopefully she can get that list put together, and we can email everyone out at the department to provide them with that information. And we will be reaching out to others, and I need to talk to her about running an RFI as well to see which other providers, along with like Google Fiber, would be willing to offer discounts based on state contracts.
Thanks, Chris. On the state parks passes, yes, I have found out that that's not something that is currently offered, but it's something that's been up for discussion for all state employees. So as I get more information on that one, I will make sure that we send that out to employees, but it's not something that the state currently does. Chris, someone's just saying include Google Fiber as well in that conversation, if that's an option. Any other questions? Oh, and Utopia. Any updates on cultural assessments? Not yet. That's something that's still being worked on by Gallup, which is the company that we hired to perform it. And they are planning on having a final report to us at the end of this month. So they've done all their data gathering at this point and are now just working on putting together their presentation. Anything else? All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything, so we'll let you get back to it. Again, if there are specific items you'd like us to discuss in next month's town hall, please just shoot me an email. We're happy to address any topics that you'd like to chat about. So enjoy the day. Have a great sunny Tuesday, and we'll see you again next month.